Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from simpleprogrammer.com. So I didn't want to make this video, but I feel like I've got to because of what's happened politically. I was trying to avoid the whole presidential political race and campaigns because, I did this video on politics and religion and whether you should discuss them. And while I get into some pretty hairy topics on this channel, obviously I've talked about controversial things and I'm totally against political correctness. I don't want to, I said in that video, but I'll say it again, is I don't want to give my opinion, especially politically, religiously, things like that, just for giving my opinion, right? Unless it has a value, unless it has a teaching element, unless it is actually, I'd rather talk about principles and ideas rather than actual people and things, if that makes sense to you, right? Unless they're actually practically going to have a real value to you in your life, right? Your opinion on who's the best president or all this, crap and hearsay that you hear, it doesn't really matter, right? It just causes problems on Facebook and causes rifts between friends and family members and all of this stuff, and it doesn't affect your daily life, not from not from any practical perspective. Like changing someone's mind on this doesn't improve their life. If I change your mind on gratitude, right, and you start living a life of gratitude, that does make an effect. If I change your mind from a victim mentality and I show you how a victim mentality is hurting you and destroying you, and I teach you one of extreme ownership, if I teach you one of taking responsibility, that changes and affects your life. But if I tell you which president to vote for, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change your life. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's why I haven't come out. Some of you wondered why I haven't endorsed a presidential candidate, and that's why. A second reason why, which is kind of fun, why we're having this video right now, is because of what just happened with Trump. So I've been a follower of Trump for a while, and when I say follower, I mean I followed his career. I did real estate investment. He was one of the guys that inspired me to do real estate investment as I watched what he did. And I've felt like I've identified with a lot of the things that he said in the past, like before he even ran for president, right? Because I've been following him for a long time. And I thought maybe this guy will run for president someday and that'll be good. But I haven't 100%, right? I haven't been, yeah, this is my man, right? Even though I've definitely been more on his side than not. And then, something like this happens, and now I have to kind of draw a line here. Now I have to because especially with the content, this is why I'm making this video, by the way, is with the content that I put on this channel, especially my, that playlist for guys that I have here. I have to make sure now that you understand the difference between being a strong masculine male and being an asshole, being a sexually assaulting, bragging about it asshole. I'm not going to try and classify an entire person based on a couple of things that they said. But it does point to their character and a strong character flaw. And it does offer me the opportunity to do two things here. One, the purpose of this video, primary purpose, is to make a very clear distinction between what I am preaching, what I am telling you that I believe is good and positive in your life and is positive for everybody involved, even though it's not politically correct and a lot of people don't like it and a lot of people are upset by it and think it's sexist and all that. And the actual harming of human beings, and this, which is what Trump did and what he said, right? That I don't condone at all, which is actually a form of weakness, not a form of strength. Okay, so that's the first thing, and I'll get into that in a little bit here. I already have, and then the second thing it allows me to do here is to basically say that, to give you an example of why you should not be squarely behind a party, a person, a thing, right? Because it's going to, so many people get too much on a cause. And that cause is not pure. Like, You need to use your own brain and think about issues on your own and not just be 100% a cheerleader for anyone. For anyone, right? Everyone is flawed, you know, and you have to realize this. And as you're dealing with your friends and talking with people, and especially if you are, you know, didn't like Trump from the beginning, that's totally fine. But if you didn't, you have to understand that they didn't know certain things, right? That everyone was kind of being sheep, and so don't attack some people who were sheeps, and we're all kind of misinformed by media. We don't know all the facts, and we jump to conclusions. This is the problem. This is the problem with backing people, backing movements, backing things that you can't 100% fully support and you don't know enough information about. So let's talk about the first issue first. Let's talk about what am I talking about on this channel? And how does this relate, right? What kind of values am I espousing? And what happened with what Trump did? If you don't know what Trump did, you know, Google it, you'll find it, right? In 2005, a video was released with some audio of him really talking about the fact that he was trying to essentially seduce a married woman and have sex with her, and then it went on to talk about how he grabbed women by their pussies, and he could get away with it because, you know, he's a star. And he's not talking about just any woman, he's talking about women that are kind of groupies following around celebrities on the set and stuff. So just to make that clear, doesn't make it right, it's still totally wrong. This is not cool, not at all, right? This is one of those things where I can't support that. I'm not gonna make excuses for the dude. I like the dude up to this point. You know, I had a lot of respect for him. I didn't agree with everything that he said, but I felt like, okay, you know, there's a lot of stuff that he says. I feel like he could do a good job, you know, and there's some rough edges here. But this was just totally wrong. Can't get behind this at all. Can't make excuses for it. There's no need, right? And again, I'm going to spill into my second point, and I'm going to say that if you are or were a Trump supporter, hey, cool, we're in the same camp, except that now's the time you could still even vote for him, you can still support him, but you gotta condemn this, because this is wrong. This is not right. What he said, you know, and don't make excuses for it, right? The best excuse you can make for it is, he screwed up bad, but I still think that he could do a good job running the country. If you think that, that's totally fine. That's up to you to decide, right? I'm not gonna tell you which way to think there, but I'm gonna tell you that you gotta acknowledge that he screwed up, okay? Because if you don't, and you're trying to like listen to what I'm saying, we're gonna go back to that first point of what I'm telling you guys about being an actual, like being masculine in a positive way, right? And even though society doesn't like it, even though society might condemn you for being masculine and being a man, and understanding, you know, the biology of men and women, and understanding that being a dominant male is biologically attractive to a more submissive female, that doesn't make that other thing, okay? You can't jump, you don't say, oh, okay, well, just because I have confidence and I'm able to escape the political correctness and I'm not a feminist and all this, doesn't mean that you're instantly into super asshole territory. What I'm teaching you to be is strong, confident in yourself, self-confident, not relying on external factors, and that being the natural kind of way that you can be attractive to women and to be a strong male who can actually lead people and is inspiring and protecting and all of the good kind of attributes that some people don't like. And maybe there's some element of the capability for violence and they're not backing down from conflict or a fight, but these are purely masculine attributes that, again, some people don't like, but they're not in any way what, you know, the kind of thing that Trump said in that 2005 video. That other side of it, right? That's actually the opposite. It's actually weakness. It's actually bragging. It's actually a lack of confidence, right? It's actually not being in a dominant position. It's a weak weakness. It's a weak position. I don't want you to be there. I don't want that's fake. Okay? Real is secure in yourself. You don't need to brag. You don't need to say this. You can just be yourself. You don't care what other people think, right? You don't take advantage of people. You protect the weak. You have a sense of honor, of duty. You're still capable of ferociousness. You're still dominant. You're still aggressive, but you're using that for, I don't want to say good, because it doesn't necessarily have to be good. You can still be a strong element, but you're using it to actually accomplish and move things forward, right? To break through barriers, to reach goals, to reach destinations, as opposed to pump your ego up, right? You see the difference here, and see what I'm saying? And one of them is not destructive and harmful. It's actually, one of those is a powerful weapon that could be used for good or bad. And the other one is just something bad, right? Because when you when you are talking about being abusive to people, and you're doing that, that is not in any way associated with what I'm talking about. So I've explained this pretty thoroughly because I want to make this very clear. I want to definitely draw a line here and say, I'm not supporting this, because I know some of you probably saw this whole Trump thing and you said, well, John's probably on Trump's side with this, and he's probably like, oh yeah, good, go right on you, dude. Yeah, that's totally it. Womanizer, yeah, give me knuckles. I wasn't like that at all. When I saw this, I was like, oh shit, you really screwed this up, dude, because I can't smile and support you now. I wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt on all these things, and now I got to go into the booth when I vote, and I got to do it with a grimace on my face, saying, "There's not really a good option here," you know. Again, and now I've got to look at my people that have been, I don't want to say enemies or opponents, but people that have been a little bit harsh in their judgment, and I got to say, you know what, you win some, you lose some. I got to say to those people, yeah, I don't agree with, the way that you've done things, but you had the right call on some things that I did not have the right call on, and I got to give you that, and I do. My hat's off. There you go. So, that's what I say. But let's get into the second point here, which is, this is not an excuse to blow up and tell all your friends how smart you are and how stupid they are, and how people that still support Trump, you can't be friends with them and they're dumbasses and all of this stuff. Remember, when there were camps, right? You didn't, if you weren't thinking on your own to start with, you just got used like a pawn pitted against another set of pawns, right? And it's like, if have you ever gone to medieval nights or medieval times? You know how you get selected for a team and you root for the green knight or the red knight, wherever you're seated, you root for that knight. You got selected for that, and then you rooted for that knight because someone told you to, okay? So that doesn't make you a higher moral authority or give you a higher ground, right? People are people, and they make mistakes, and this is something that doesn't affect your life. You shouldn't even be expressing this stuff on Facebook. You shouldn't even be making political statements on Facebook, because it doesn't actually improve things, right? If you're going and you're telling people, hey, stop having the victim mentality. Look, start taking ownership for your life. Look, stop asking for handouts. Look, you reap what you sow. Okay, you need to take responsibility. You need to do these things, and you're going in and giving that political message, right? And you're saying it's not right to take from the rich just because and equally distribute wealth. That is not right. People earn what their income is, and they should have the right to have what they've earned and not have it taken and given other. That's totally fine. Those are quote political messages, but those are messages that actually make an impact on someone's life. If you are able to communicate that message and it affects someone, right? Again, why I didn't make explicitly political videos on YouTube here, but if you can actually convey that message and you can do it in the right way and inspire people and actually change hearts and minds, you can do something for the good. If you convince someone to vote for one person or the other, it doesn't matter. Or you tell them that one person's evil or not. Don't get on board with a person. Again, this is the second lesson in here, is what I'm saying is, even though, for a lot of this election, I've been a quote Trump supporter, meaning someone who voted for Trump, I wasn't 100% in his camp. What I mean by that is, I realize the guy's got flaws. Whoever you're talking to has flaws. Whatever movement you're involved in, if you're Black Lives Matter, you're not Black Lives Matter, or All Lives Matter, or Blue Lives, or whatever, there's flaws. It's not, there's problems, right? I sometimes don't like the whole, sometimes the whole, right-wing movement, because sometimes there's a lot of religious fundamentalism in there that I don't necessarily agree with, even though I might be more inclined to some of their beliefs. I don't subscribe. No one gives me a list and says, these are the things that you believe and you have to espouse these ideas. And I say, yep, I'm in. I don't do that. I say, you know what? You give me the list. I'll pick and choose the ones that I want. Okay? Because I'm not a brainwashed idiot. And that's what I'm saying is for you too. So I think this is a good example, because if you are a brainwashed idiot and then your leader does something stupid, you've now got to make excuses for your leader. And there's a lot of people in the quote, in the Clinton camp, let's be honest here, where she's screwed up. Let's call a kettle black, right? When it's black, let's call a thing what it is. She's totally screwed up. She's lied to the American people. She's, you can fill in the rest. I'm not going to not get into it. But Trump screwed up more than once. This isn't his only screw up, right? There's a lot of screw ups all along the lines. So when you just totally 100% back a party, a person, whatever it is, right? And instead of being principle focused and using your own brain, that's why you have a brain. If you just watch whatever's on Facebook and you like the people that like your stuff, right? Then you just totally buy into their person or their movement or whatever, and the other side is the enemy. Well, what have you done? You've given up your brain power. You've given up your right? And you've put yourself in a position where a lot of you are right now, right? A lot of you don't know how to respond to this, right? You're like, well, all these people are attacking me now because you were a Trump supporter, and I'm just going to lash out and hit them right back and say, no, what he did wasn't nearly as bad as what Bill Clinton did, or blah, 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 blah. No, you can be, you don't have to be flawless either, right? Your person isn't flawless, your movement isn't flawless, your candidate isn't flawless. Let's just be honest, let's be human beings. You can say, I like the way that this person thinks from a business perspective. I don't like their moral character. You can say that. You can say, I thought I liked this person's moral character, but then I found out this and I don't like that, right? You can have problems, right? You can even be a Clinton supporter, or you can even vote for Clinton, and you can say, you know what, she shouldn't have lied about the email. The Benghazi thing, I don't know. That's I'm on the fence on that, but it's not good. It's not good, And there's a bunch of stuff that I don't like, but I think the economic policy she has, that makes more sense to me. Blah blah blah. You could say those things. You could say the same thing about Trump. But for those of you that are stuck now and you're getting smacked, I'll say to both sides. One, if you were or are a Clinton supporter and now you're seeing this thing that happened with Trump, this is not a moment to smash people further and to harden their resolve and push them further in the wrong direction, right? Because if you come down on these people and you say, well, screw you, you assholes who supported Trump, now you're really super assholes because you're supposed to know what he said in 2005, right? As if anyone knew what he said in 2000, as if everyone knew this was coming out, right? But if you smash them now, what their natural reaction is going to be is to defend themselves and quote their candidate, and they're going to defend his actions, and they're going to be corrupting their own soul by doing that. You'll be pushing them into darkness. Do you see what I'm saying? Again, I'm not supporting Clinton. I'm not supporting. I'm not saying. I'm just saying, like, if you're that group, I'll address the other group in a second. But if you're that group and you do that, that's not the response. You're going to cause them to get to a point where they're actually going to defend this guy's wrongdoing, right? I've come out against it. I've said it's wrong. I don't have any problem saying that that's wrong. A lot of people have said that are even Trump supporters, right? But you're going to push them. So don't do that. Instead, be sympathetic and say, look, man, that's a hard blow. That's kind of alarming, kind of shocking that happened. You couldn't have known that this guy would say that. What do you think about that? Like, I mean, I know like why you supported this guy, and you have your reasons, and I might disagree with you about them, but gosh, no one could have known that. That was blind. I feel bad for you because you got blindsided, man. I would hate it if I were voting for a guy, or I would, and then all of a sudden this dirt came out on him that's just really reprehensible and horrible. Like that's a bad space to be. Pat on the back. Sorry, bro. Like I wasn't rooting for your guy, but I was rooting for you. And I think you're intelligent. But now what are you gonna do? That's now you've won that person over maybe, and now maybe they might even still support Trump. They might, but they might now at least say now they can at least not sell their soul. Now they don't have to darken their their soul and try to defend an action because they're pushed into a corner because you're beating up them and chasing them into this. And now I'll switch the sides and say, now if you're a Trump supporter and and then you have this to deal with, you don't have to like defend and agree with every single thing that he's said or done. You don't, right? You can take a stand and you can say, look, you can even still support the guy, right? It's totally fine, right? I don't know where I sit 100% here yet. I've got to think about this a little bit, right? But, and I'm saying that because I don't want you to make assumptions, but you can even totally support him, but you can still say, look, I'm still voting for him, but here's what. I don't like that. What he did, I don't have to stand for that. That is wrong. I would never, ever condone that. It doesn't make it right just because someone else did it. I don't care what Bill Clinton did. What he did was wrong. It's wrong. Okay? It doesn't represent me. I don't want to be associated with that. Okay? But I'm still going to support, I still like economically or whatever, whatever you can say that, right? And that's, just don't be a dummy. Don't be on either side. Don't be blind and don't be stupid and just support your camp and everything that they say and tell you to say just because it's, quote, your camp and the other people are the enemies, right? And don't just go and bash them just because of that, right? A lot of people are misinformed. A lot of people are doing that. And that's why you end up with this chaos. And again, this is just the lesson why, for those of you that are Trump supporters or still are or were or whatever, this is the lesson why you kind of like, you got your political opinion and you might express it to some degree, but don't come out guns blazing because you don't know what kind of shit is going to come out. I didn't know that there was any skeletons in Trump's closet that could actually hurt him. This is one. I would have told you, yeah, he's anti-fragile. Anything you say about him or that comes out on him is going to help him. It's not going to hurt him because everyone knows what kind of character they're dealing with. He's not the most moral character. He is what he is, right? But this is a heavy blow. So you don't know that stuff. So that goes for both sides, whether you're a Clinton supporter, Trump supporter, or whoever you're going to support in the future. Don't be like so much in their corner. It's all right to be in the corner. So we're out to, support their ideas. Don't be anyone's man. Don't be anyone's bitch. Do you understand what I'm saying? Don't be anyone's bitch. That's a good way to end this video. Don't be anyone's bitch. Except you should be my bitch by subscribing to this channel. No, I'm just teasing you. Anyway, I would appreciate if you did like this video. Again, I have no idea what kind of crazy shit that people are going to say in the comments, but if you're going to say it, go ahead. Just all I ask is this: Don't just jump down there and comment and spew some crap. Think about it. I'm telling you to use your brain and think. Every time I do this, I get in trouble in the video, but I'm not gonna back down on this point. Use your brain and think. And don't just blindly support or against or antagonize people just because of it. I don't know, this is how I'm telling you to subscribe. Anyway, I hope you like this video, and share it if you think it'll help someone who needs to get a little bit more balance and level head and stop being a bitch. Stop being someone else's bitch, some political party, some campaign, some movement's bitch. Go ahead and share the video with them. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.